Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Barbara Epworth would be pleased. So would Henry Moore or, for that matter, Sir Anthony Gormley, arguably our greatest living sculptor. All three are known for their outdoor creations, and so one can assume that all three would applaud the growing trend for what loosely can be called garden art. It's a broad genre and not a new one, but it has come increasingly into its own during the past 18 months as people put a greater emphasis on outdoor space. There's a utilitarian element to it, too. If you're going to have an outdoor table, why not have one made of stone which you can leave to the elements all year round and which will become ever more handsome as the years roll by? And if you're going to spend more time with friends huddled on your terrace under a heater, why not invite a stone URN planted up with wafting grasses to join the party? Garden art and furniture has taken off in recent years, and it became especially sought after during the pandemic when we all spent so much time at home, says Julia Skinner, of Jota's Garden Antiques, based near Upton's Knottesbury in Worcestershire. Most of Julia's collection is sourced from the UK. Alto her copper cheese bats come from France and have proved to be best sellers, never mind that an extra large one can cost about 5,000 libras. We have converted some of them into bubbling fountains, which make wonderful centerpieces, she says. They just need a simple pump, which works out at an extra 200 libras or so. Travers Nettleton and his wife Katie have been running Garden Art Plus in Hungerford, Berkshire, for nearly 20 years, operating out of a 2-acre former salvaje and timber yard. They sell everything from arbors, benches, bird baths and gates to fountains, finials and statues, and supply both Soho House, the private members club, and the Popular the Peak chain of hotels. The reason we were so busy during the lockdowns was because of the renewed interest in gardening, says Travers. And that led on to thinking more about garden furniture. Unlike wood, stone improves with age and people are always looking for a crossover between what's practical and what looks good. A visit in his yard has almost become a local attraction in its own right, especially now that he has invited several other like-minded retailers, as he puts it, including a wine merchant, boutique clothing shop and art dealer, to open their own shops on the site. Some of his statues, such as a headless 17th century figure of Athena, cost more than 12,000 libras, but you can also pick up a bust of Aphrodite on a fluted column for 595 libras. Tina Bird started Decorative Garden Antiques shortly before the first lockdown. She was running a company that specializes in team building, but there was no team building to be done during the pandemic. At the time, her mother had just died, and rather than sell her house, she and her brother decided to rent it out to holiday makers and working to improve the small patio garden, which is a focal point of the property. Sometimes things are meant to happen at specific times in your life, says Tina. Suddenly, having all the time in the world during COVID, I lived like a salmon and became totally engrossed with garden antiques, something I have had a passion for throughout my life. Tina still runs her team building company. This means she has the luxury of buying only exactly what she loves for her garden antiques business. If I make a bit of money, then that's a bonus, she says. And I'm pleased to say that right now the market has gone mad. It seems that young people now want things with some history to them. They don't want to think there are 50 or 100 benches or tables that are exactly similar. Tina is particularly proud of her benches, especially those that have carved ends in the shape of swans or animals. And her range of URNs and planters is impressive. Currently, she has a wonderfully heavy, antique marble URN on sale for 348 libras. A particular area of growth for Travers at Garden Art Plus is his antique Caddy fire bowls, which start at 395 libras. He sources them from India and restores them as necessary. They are certainly far more attractive than a regular barbecue, and epitomize the new vogue for outdoor living. Though what Barbara Epworth and Henry Moore would make of them is another matter.